What's up, guys? Welcome. We're back again. This is just like the fourth time today, I think. And there's supposed to be, they're happening right now. It's gonna be like a press conference, or like I don't know. I guess some type of update. And this is with the Coast Guard. Give it a second for people to join.
Alan, we can come back to you.
Give it a second for people to join, and we'll start this up. I just paused it for now. Might not have notifications. No notifications? No notification, guys? Let's see. No notifications. All right, rolling raw. Let me send out a email blast and do a little tweet. This is the plane that was flying and disappeared from the radar. Covered it early this morning. Early morning. And it doesn't sound good to me. I haven't found this plane yet. You never know, though. There's been stories of people found, but maybe they landed on the ice somehow. What's up? Oh, yeah, you got the Discord notification? Amazing. Little email blast. I guess we'll start it while I send the email out.
Because of ongoing operations, we'll be available for 30 minutes today. Please use the raise hand function in Teams. And we ask that each attendee limits their questions to one question and a follow-up in hopes that we can get to everybody today. Following the media briefing, either I or a public affairs representative from one of the other agencies on board will be able to assist you with anything further you may need. With that, I am going to turn it over to Lieutenant Commander Ben McIntyre-Coble. He is a search mission coordinator here at District 17. His last name is spelled McIntyre -COBLE. And with that, I will turn it over to Lieutenant Commander McIntyre-Coble.
Good afternoon. As Mr. Salerno said, my name is Benjamin McIntyre-Coble. I am a Coast Guard officer at the Coast Guard District 17 office. Just a quick overview on the case. So yesterday afternoon at about 4:30 p.m., the Coast Guard Rescue Coordination Center in Juneau received what's called a alert notice, commonly called an all-knot, about a Cessna Caravan bearing Air Flight 445 being overdue between the village of Unalakleet and Nome, Alaska. So we began taking initial actions to investigate that overdue aircraft. One of the things that was part of that initial investigation was some radar forensic data that has been provided by the U.S. Civil Air Patrol. Part of that radar analysis showed that at around 3:18 p.m. yesterday afternoon, this aircraft experienced some kind of event which caused them to experience a rapid loss in elevation and a rapid loss in speed. What that event is, I can't speculate to. But so we assumed that this is a search and rescue case where assistance was going to be immediately necessary. We've since launched a variety of Coast Guard assets. We had a C-130 that searched overnight. We've also had a Coast Guard rotary wing MH-60 fly up from our forward operating site in Cold Bay to the Nome area. And after a brief period where they were needed to thaw out the aircraft after they experienced micing, they are airborne at this time. what I will say, and this is highly breaking and sort of up to the minute sort of news, is at this time there has been some sort of item of interest that has been identified by another aircraft that's participating in the search efforts, and that Coast Guard MH-60 is being vectored over to the location of that. What that is, and what that might shake out to be, and what the status of the people who may or may not be there is, I can't speculate to at this time.
With that, you, Jim.
And I'll at this time I'll turn it over to representatives from the Alaska Air National Guard.
Can you hear me now? There we go. All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alan Brown. I'm the Director of Communications for the Alaska National Guard. I spell ALANBROWN. I'm here at Joint Base Elmendorf.
Break in. Alan, we're having difficulty hearing you. If you could just do a quick mic check for us, please.
Sounds perfect.
Mic check. Someone's hot mic'd.
Oh, no. So is somebody. Lady, turn it down. Mute her.
Alan, we can come back to you, but if will you work on your microphone? We can turn over to Alaska State Troopers.
Are we okay?
Mama in the background. Mama.
Okay, I'm seeing notes that everybody that can hear me okay. Excuse me.
Roger, I understand.
Okay, so,
everyone else seems to be hearing you okay. We'll work on our end, but Alan, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Just want to reiterate, sorry, I got thrown off. So I'm here at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, which is just outside of Anchorage, Alaska, the Alaska National Guard headquarters. We've been participating in this search since yesterday evening. When we received notification, we launched an Alaska Air National Guard HC-130, as well as an Alaska Air National Guard HH-60 helicopter to go up to the area. The helicopter, unfortunately, had to turn around after a couple hours in flight due to some really severe weather. However, the HC-130 was able to make it up to the area and spend about 4 hours on scene doing a search, and then they returned early hours this morning. As we speak right now, an Alaska Army National Guard UH-60 is up in the air with a GNOME-based air crew. They've been up and operating for the last couple of hours now in close coordination with the Coast Guard that still maintains the overall lead on this search. Additionally, the Coast Guard requested this morning that our HC-130 do another turn, and so they departed recently and they're either on their way or close by up in Nome to help with that search as well. Their mission was to not only search the area or add in the search to the area, but also provide airspace deconfliction as there's a number of different assets in the air. That is pretty much the update that I have in terms of our portion. I think it's important to note that all the assistance that the Alaska National Guard has provided has been in close coordination with the Coast Guard and Alaska State Troopers, but also at the request of the Coast Guard, as they are the lead agency. And subject to your questions. All right, nothing heard. I can turn it over to my colleague over at Alaska State Troopers.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Ben Endries. I am the Alaska State Trooper Statewide Search and Rescue Coordinator. The troopers continue to work closely with their local and federal partners in the search for the missing Bering Air caravan. Yesterday afternoon, a little after 4 p.m., when we were notified by the Rescue Coordination Center, local troopers at both Unacleat and Nome posts reached out to Bering Air as well as others in the area and began to coordinate. closely with ground search teams and the NOAA search and rescue organizations. To the families and loved ones of those that are missing, just know that we are using every available resource and working closely with the other teams, and every request that we've made for federal or state assistance has been granted, and we continue to move forward working with our partners. Thank you. And NTSB as well. We coordinated with them, notified them early on. They were aware, and have assets that were in the area, as well as personnel continuing to move into the area to offer assistance and investigation.
Thank you, sir. And then with that, we'll turn it over to NTSB if they have anything they'd like to share before we turn it over to questions.
There we are. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Clint Johnson. I'm the chief of the NTSB office here in Anchorage, Alaska. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of where we are now, kind of where we're headed, and where we've been. We were notified yesterday afternoon, right after this airplane went missing. Our investigator on call, Stacia Joyce, started gathering information, electronic information, radar, ADSB. We actually launched Stacia to Nome first thing this morning, so she's boots on the ground in Nome right now. We have a pretty large response coming from Washington, D.C., from various locations in the area, in the neighborhood of 9 people, various disciplines right now. But however, in this case, what we do is we kind of take a back seat for the most part to the rescue folks. We're just documenting right now, monitoring. Once the rescue is done, they hand the keys over to us, and then we take it from there. But that's where we are at this point right now, and I'll turn it back to you folks.
Thank you, sir. And as I see, we have more than 400 people in the chat. So rather than use the raised hand function, I may ask that that members of the media please use the chat function, and I just identify your name there, so that way our team can call on you. So we'll open up to questions using the chat function.
Are you that way?
All right, so first we'll start with Becky Bohr from the Associated Press.
Hi, thank you for taking the time to Lieutenant Commander. You mentioned some sort of item of interest. Is it part of a plane? Is it belongings? Can you describe that a bit more? And is this something that was discovered in open water or on ice?
So I apologize, ma'am. I do not know the answers to those questions. Hopefully within a fairly short amount of time, there will be more information about that. But it was literally just minutes before we came online that we were told that a item of interest has been found. The specifics beyond that, I can't really speak to.
I wonder what was found. Was it a piece of a plane or something, some type of, I don't know.
Chica Fernandez, she's Alaska News Source.
Make them get on camera, these reporters.
So you can tell us right now, with family members being notified, who was on board? Do we know who was traveling together? Was this a group? Was this people traveling individually? Are we able to know who was on that flight?
We obtained the passenger manifest last night from Bering Air, and troopers with assistance from other agencies completed next of kin notifications. So we are aware of who it is, and next of kin has been notified, but those names have not been publicly released at this time.
Okay, and next week can go with Gallia with ABC News. Okay, we can come back to that. If we can move on to Zach
whether the
Wisher
children will
from USA Today.
He actually asked my main questions, but I'm just wondering if this is still considered a search and rescue mission or if this is morphed at this stage into a recovery mission.
So thank you for your question, sir. Speaking entirely from the United States Coast Guard's perspective, this is an active search and rescue case. So we are operating under the assumption right now that there are still people who are in a position to be assisted by the United States Coast Guard. We continue to have air assets overhead and are in close coordination with the local authorities, including the Alaska State Troopers, to provide potentially on the ice assistance to any persons who might be found. But at this time, we are still considering that this is an active search and rescue case, and we have no immediate intentions to change the status of the case in the near term.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, and then we'll move on to Davis Hovey with KMXT.
Good afternoon. Thank you for presenting this call. My question is regarding the notice that we've been told from Nome Volunteer Fire Department that the Bering airplane was not communicating via emergency locator transmitter. Could you speak to that, and also the process the Coast Guard is using as it's flying grids and using technology to search for this plane without that ELT in play?
Sure. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that question. So, as you had mentioned, every plane carries what's called an emergency locating transmitter. That is a device that, if potentially it is exposed to seawater, sends a signal up to a satellite, which then coordinates or relays that message back to the Coast Guard that there's potentially an aircraft in distress. As you mentioned, there has been no ELT notifications to the United States Coast Guard. Why that has occurred or why that hasn't occurred is not something that we're entirely clear about. For the second part of your question, how the Coast Guard is sort of informing the search efforts going forward. So we do have, as a result of the Civil Air Patrol radar data that we were what we consider to be a fairly reliable last known position for that. So from there, we are doing essentially expanding squares around that, and also using some pretty advanced modeling tools and equipment to determine, where ice may drift and where the water sort of may move, and that's going to inform whether or the direction of which our searches are going from here.
Okay, and then we can move to Chris Van Cleve from CBS News.
Hi there. Hopefully you can hear me. Two questions. One, can you give us a sense of what the weather conditions were like at around 3:18 when whatever that event was that happened? And do you have any information about, was this a tour group? Was this, what the point of that flight was?
So I do not know what the nature of the flight was yesterday. I do know that the weather yesterday was pretty challenging, especially once we got notification about the overdue aircraft, and then trying to get resources into the area. The individual from the Alaska National Guard mentioned that their helicopter was unable to reach the area of action because of poor weather conditions. I can tell you right now, and this is holding since yesterday, the air temperature in the vicinity of the last known position is about 3 degrees. The sea temperature, depending on the status of the ice, is about 29 degrees. And what we're having is mixed ice conditions. So what we're calling, shore ice, where it's not necessarily entirely firm, but not entirely broken up either. So I can't really speculate if it was whatever caused this plane to have this issue was a result of weather, but it's February in Alaska, and the weather has not been fantastic.
and then we can move on to the Gnome Nugget.
Who's that? The Gnome Nugget? Oh, I guess local news, maybe?
Our question has been answered, so thank you anyways.
Okay. And we'll move on to Kelly Kramer from Fox News.
Holy crap.
Hey, Kelly from Fox News. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Thank you so much for doing this in the middle of a important rescue mission here. Appreciate you taking the time. I know this question has been sort of asked a little bit. Hopefully you can tell us a little more about the people on the plane. Do we know the makeup, adults, children, and what type of trips do these planes usually take? Could this be a tourist plane? I guess we're trying to get an idea of who was on this plane. I know you're not releasing names, but anything you could give us would be great.
I'll just add that we're aware that it was all adults on the plane, and this is a regular scheduled commuter flight with Bering Air. It's a regular scheduled flight, and they're moving from Unalakleet to Nome in a normal fashion.
Okay, and then we'll move on to Charles C. Asking about current search weather conditions.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Question was just, what are the current conditions? Is it pretty clear? You guys able to see pretty well, or you still have reduced visibility?
Oh, really, Amy?
So thank you for that question. The conditions have significantly improved this morning. So we're still dealing with potential icing conditions for the aircraft, but as far as the visibility and the cloud cover are concerned, they are much more conducive at this point to locate any kind of items of interest than they were overnight.
The point's up.
And then we can move on to Bree Stimson with Fox News. I believe that question was answered. So we can move on to Zaz Hollander from Anchorage Daily News.
Can you hear me okay? Thanks for taking my question. I'm wondering if there were any transmissions from the pilot prior to that last transponder signal and whatever that sudden event was. Were there any indications of a problem on board?
Ma'am, we're unaware of any other indicators that the plane might have been experiencing any kind of distress prior to what we have from the radar forensics.
And what does the radar show exactly, if you can break it down a little bit for us?
So, like I mentioned, it shows the path of the aircraft moving across Norton Sound. And then, like I mentioned, it shows a rapid loss of altitude for the plane and then a corresponding rapid loss in speed.
And could you tell us real quick what the altitude loss went from what to what?
I do not know that information off the top of my hand. I'm happy to go back and get some more higher fidelity data for you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Yes, ma'am.
We can move on to Georgina Fernandez with Alaska News Source.
Yeah, why was the runway closed? That's a good idea. That's a good question. I mean, why did the pilot get into a circling
Sorry
position?
about that. Is there anything you can tell us for now about the pilot, their name, how many hours they may have had, and how long they were up there in the air?
Maybe. Y2K.
I am unaware of any, or excuse me, I'm not tracking any issues with the pilot. I would defer to the Alaska State Troopers for any insights about that question.
And we're not releasing names and don't really have particular information about the pilot's experience or history, and I would defer that to the NTSB investigation.
So that is going to be an integral part of our investigation. We have an ops group chairman that is going to be looking at everything that has to do with the pilot, the operation. But at this point right now, our main emphasis is on the rescue, but obviously that's something we're going to be looking at as the investigation unfolds.
Okay, and we can move on to Tracy from KTUU.
Was specific to the aircraft itself and anything we might know. It was obviously full, we understand, with passengers and up to maximum weight. Can you confirm that, and or the age of that aircraft and anything related to its experience in Alaska with previous recent issues or repairs?
Ma'am, I'm unable to speculate about the status of the aircraft, its weight, or any of those sort of particulars. I would again defer that to the NTSB once their investigation has begun.
Yeah, and again, kind of the same answer. I mean, those are the areas that we're going to be looking at very, very closely with a magnifying glass. The 208 typically is outfitted. It varies from operator to operator with 10 seats in it. So 9 passenger seats, 1 pilot. That's a standard configuration. As far as the weight, the takeoff weight, again, we don't know at this point right now, but those are areas that we're going to be looking very closely at.
Thanks, Clinton. Just a follow up. Obviously, the Nome Airport, we were told, was in a holding pattern. That's something most of us know flying into there isn't that uncommon. But were there any particular reasons they were clearing? Was it heavy snow? Was it something that made that clearance difficult at that time that was putting that plane in a holding pattern?
Not that I'm aware of at this point right now, but obviously we're going to be looking at that. At this point right now, we're not ruling anything out. Man-machine environment, so process of elimination, everything is on the table, very much in the performative stages of the investigation.
Okay, we'll move on to Charlie Cross.
What the hell?
I wonder if the Coast Guard can elaborate on the technologies being used and deployed on both the C-130 and the rotary aircraft.
Sure. So some of the technologies that are being utilized right now on both platforms is forward-looking infrared systems that can detect changes in temperature on the water surface. High optical or high resolution optical cameras. Something that we're doing at the very much preceding this call is deploying something called a self-locating data marker buoy, which is an object that will go into the water and that could potentially help us understand the flow of the water and the flow of the ice relative to the ocean's currents. So those are some of the things the Coast Guard is using to aid in the search effort right now.
Okay, and then Aisha from ABC News. Okay, since we can't hear you right now, Aisha, we'll move on to the next question. SJ.
There, thank you. I was just wondering if local search and rescue needed additional people to help search.
At this time, based on the location and the conditions of ice and snow, no additional personnel requested. The local Nome search and rescue is involved, and if they have a need for additional, they'll make that request. But at this time, we're not requesting any additional personnel as far as volunteers.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we'll move on to Jen Watts from ABC News.
Question about the runway. I know that you've already answered the holding pattern, but is there anything you can tell us about why that runway was closed for a time? Were they clearing snow, or what was going on with that runway?
So I am unaware of anything about the runway in Nome. I would again defer to NTSB if they have any insights at this time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have any information on that. Obviously, this event took place quite a ways from the airport, but again, we're going to be looking at all those different aspects. It's just very much on the preliminary stages right now.
We can move to Haley Lehman from Fairbanks Daily News.
Afternoon. Thank you for taking my question. Haley Lehman from the Fairbanks Daily. The Federal Bureau of Investigation sent out a news release this morning that they are involved in the search and rescue. Can you share what their involvement is in the rescue mission at this point?
The Alaska State Troopers and FBI coincidentally held a meeting about pooling some equipment that they had that had potential for search and rescue use. We'd had that meeting this week. They offered that assistance, and our plan was to take them up on that offer if it was available. We've kind of on a pause of moving that equipment out to the area right now based on the most breaking information and that something had been located. So the FBI had offered their assistance to help us with the search and rescue.
And if I could follow up, do you mind sharing what equipment they offered to help in the mission?
It's equipment that primarily has other uses, but does have potential to help locate someone in a search and rescue situation. And I would just refer you to them for additional information on that technology.
Thank you.
And I think we have time for one more question. So we're going to make one more question, and then if you have additional questions, please, either myself or one of the public affairs representatives from the other agencies on board will be there to assist you. So one more question, then, please.
Okay, we'll move to Ms. Taylor from CBC News.
Oh, my question's already been answered. Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, and I think I missed Dana Griffin from NBC News. Did we already get you?
Hi. Yeah, thanks so much for calling. So you kind of answered a little bit, but I just want to go back and clarify. Did the pilot ever achieve that holding pattern? And if so, how long was the pilot in that holding pattern?
Again, ma'am, I have no insights onto the intended flight path or anything to do with the holding pattern with Nome Airport or what might have precipitated it. The Coast Guard's involvement really began when the aircraft became overdue, and any questions related to the routing of that, I would defer entirely to either the FAA or the NTSB once they've completed their investigation.
And folks, thank you very much for your questions. Understanding that this is still an active search, we request you please follow USCG Alaska on X. That's where you're going to see some up-to-date information. My team and all our partner agencies will be looking into what the search assets on scene are actively looking at right now. So we will be pushing out updates later today. And stay tuned for those. If you do have additional questions, you can send them to USCG Alaska at uscg.mil. Again, that's USCG Alaska at uscg.mil. And again, if you're looking for one of the other partner agencies, their public affairs representatives can help you out. Thank you very much for attending today, and really appreciate your time.
Okay,
Thanks, folks.
So still no plane.
And there you have it. That was the Coast Guard, but also included the Alaska State Troopers, the update on what is happening with the search. They did say that just before they began the press conference that a pilot had seen something which they're calling an item of interest, and that they had then directed one of their search planes to that.
I'll play a little bit what this lady has to say, if she still has more to say, but on the flight radar, you can see this Plane has been doing circles. This military AFR 5832. Let me play what this lady was saying. Continue.
That area. That was all the information that we had. And we asked information, a number of the reporters asked information about the individuals on the flight, also what the age of the plane, what the plane could carry. Most of that information will be looked at through the NTSB after the search and rescue is completed. And you heard the Lieutenant Colonel there, McIntyre Coble. He said directly that this is still considered an active search and rescue, and there is no current decision to change that status. So they are viewing it still as a search and rescue. Of course, we are tracking this story closely, and we will have more on alaskasnewssource.com, and we'll come back on here if there is any breaking news. So thank you so much for joining us.
Okay. Doesn't sound good. I mean, unless they landed somewhere or landed on ice. Doesn't sound good. I hope they're not like at the bottom of the ocean or something. And I really wonder what's that piece. What exactly was it that some plane spotted? There's some stuff here. Unrelated. Let me see. Kaiser mental health workers protest staffing crisis amid fires. So the mental health people are protesting. Everybody's protesting. This was posted 42 minutes ago in Cali. I guess there's no audio. Wow, they brought all those cops for... Oh, there's a lot of people out there, I guess. We're not gonna take it. So the mental health workers protesting. They've been on strike for months. Wow. On strike. Kaiser don't deny. On strike. It's a big protest. I forgot what country it was. People that glued themselves to the floor. With these guys in suits, are they directing the cops? It's like the corporate people. But they're taking orders from the guys, the men in suits. They're going to wrangle them up, tie them up. Oh, they're cops, probably. Some type of agency, I don't know. The men in blue. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. We'll do right. You said. They're approaching one lady. Ma'am, do you really want to go to jail right now? Oh, not the lady with the cane. Come on, man. Come on. Not the lady with the cane. Wrangle her up, too. Just kidding. They don't seem phased or clapping. All right, it's time. We're taking you. The first one to be taken away. Guys, don't deny mental health. Oh, they took off her sign, too. Hell nah. Maybe they were hoping to scare the others. There's the next one. One by one. They probably let them go, though, because I heard the other day some of these people got arrested and just let them go, the protester people. They take him away and just let him go. Consuela, not Consuela. Come on. Hey, y'all call for that Consuela. Who's the guy recording Consuela too being taken away? Oh, man. Were they being nice with her? I guess because they're blocking the road. Grandma knitting a quilt. There's a couple of people out there. Not that much. There was another incident that was kind of crazy. Breaking. A man assaulted in front of Los Angeles City hallway. Anti-deportation protest in school walks out. They still protesting day 6 with more planned through the weekend. Jeez. What are they doing to this guy? A gang of these people ran. What happened? Oh my gosh. I thought it was a peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. This guy too, Anthony Nigo. He's been talking about some trans cell terror group. On February 5th, dozens of FBI and local law enforcement swarmed a quiet neighborhood nearby a forested area in Chatham County, North Carolina for a secretive mission. I can exclusively confirm that the agents were in the Chapel Hill area as part of their belated investigation into the Z's trans terror cell. What? I exclusively reported before Jack Z. Lasota lived here for many months with the Vermont trans duo Felix Ophelia Backholt and Teresa Milo Youngbolt and others. And so then he posted a video. The Times published the CCTV footage of the trans terror cult duo Teresa Milo and Ophelia at one of the Vermont motels they stayed at before allegedly launching a deadly attack on the Border Patrol agent. So there was a Border Patrol agent that was killed, apparently. Damn, bro. What is this? While Youngbolt was still in the office, the SB pulls up into the hotel. Backholt suddenly walks away. The parallel leaves the front. The Jack Z. Lasota, the leader of the trans terror cell, linked to 6 known deaths. 6 known deaths is at large. Lasota, who identifies as a woman, has grown breasts or wear prosthetics, faked his death in Solana County, California, to skip out on the criminal case in August 22. Police then saw him in November 2022 at the scene of an attempted assassination on the trans commune in Vallejo, California, but was not arrested. In January 2023, Lasota was arrested in Delaware County, PA, during an investigation into a brutal execution-style double homicide of an elderly couple. A judge granted him bail, initially at $500,000, but then lowered it to $10,000. Lasota quickly bailed and disappeared with his comrades. There's a warrant for his arrest in both Pennsylvania and California. I've obtained new photos.
My reporting about the trans terror cult linked to 6 deaths in the U.S. and whose members remain armed and at large and dangerous. So I've obtained an image of the commune that the terror cult lived in Vallejo, California, which is in the Bay Area, back in 2022. That was a significant year for them because that was, as far as we know, the first year that they launched one of their attempted killings, and that was of the landlord of the property Curtis Lint, who at that time was 80 years old. 3 members are alleged to have launched a sword attack on him, a very brutal one that left him barely alive, lost an eye, had cuts and stab wounds all over his body, and he was impaled during the attack. And he had a firearm at that time that was used to defend himself, and he was able to kill one of the militants. So if you look at the image of this lot, and they have been squatting there for years, according to witnesses and Mr. Lint himself, when he gave testimony before he was ultimately assassinated in January of this year, the militants had been living in these box trucks, and what they were doing inside is a big mystery. After the first assassination attempt of Mr. Lint, he told media that inside this abandoned property, because two of the members were arrested and charged for attempted murder and murder. Jack Ziz Lasota lived on this property, and he's the ringleader, the cult leader of this movement, and he remains at large currently. He has an arrest warrant in both California as well as Pennsylvania.
That's so weird. I haven't heard of this. There's multiple articles. So there's a few articles on it, but Silicon Valley genius at the center of the Zizan trans death cult tied to 6 killings? What the? Jack Lasota. Wow. What in tarnation? That's the guy that was impaled. Curtis Lind. Holy moly, what is this? Oh, so they were committed to veganism. That caught my eye. Out of all the words and text, my eyes just locked on veganism. They were committed to veganism. No wonder they're crazy. I'm crazy. I'm kidding for the people that are. And cared about the relationship between humans and animals. They cared about pedophilia. What? And cared about children. They were very much believed in what they believed. They were passionate as far as I saw, nonviolent. Wow. He's the only reason he was alive is because he pulled a gun in their ass. Lynn, who lost tonight, was set to testify in the trial, but was killed before he could. Yo, what kind of crazy story is this? He was stabbed multiple times and impaled through the chest with a sword. During the attack, Lynn managed to pull a gun on his attackers. Tenet Patrick McClellan told NBC at the time that Lynn came knocking on his door with a sword sticking out of his chest. He banged on my door and I woke up. He said, "I'm dying." And he had a blood squirting out and a sword sticking through him. He miraculously survived but lost an eye. One of the attackers was Lasota and Lasota's old friend Borhanian, who was shot and killed in the chaos. Fellow so-called Zizians, Letham and Zuridao were charged with Borhanian's murder, attempted murder, and aggravated mayhem. Wow. Richard Zajiko and his wife Rita left were found dead in their Pennsylvania home in 2023. What, did they attach to these killings too? And then there's this Border Patrol agent that was shot and killed, and they think that's linked to it also? Investigators believe that the couple's daughter, Michelle Zajiko, was in possession of the murder weapon, and so swooped on Candlewood Suites Hotel in Chester City, where she was staying on January 13, 2023. The search did not turn up Zajiko or the firearm. Instead, authorities found an individual called Daniel Blank and Lasota inside the hotel room. Lasota was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and obstruction. Had Lasota faked her own death? Might Danielson have done the same? In Danielson's case, Friedman said he never saw a death certificate or evidence of her passing. Before Lasota's death, he said he obtained the U.S. Coast Guard report about her apparent drowning, an hours-long search in vain as evidence. Yet, here, she was very much alive and well accounted for on the East Coast. Patrol agent David Meland was shot dead during the Inauguration Day shooting in Coventry, Vermont. The scene of the shooting. a German citizen and quantitative trader, and Teresa Youngbolt, a 21-year-old computer science student from Washington. Not for long, however, after being released on bond, Lesotho skipped out on several court dates, and a warrant is out for her arrest. Daily Mail has tried to contact Lesotho and her father for comment. Of course, there's no comment. But something would happen almost exactly 2 years on that Thursday. The murders of her parents in the spotlight once again. Okay. At the very same time, a U.S. Border Patrol agent stopped a blue Toyota Prius hatchback with North Carolina license plates for an immigration inspection in Coventry, Vermont. Inside was Felix Bockholt, a German citizen quantitative trader who authorities said at the time appeared to have an expired visa, and Teresa Youngbolt, a 21-year-old computer science student from Washington. According to the affidavit, Youngbolt pulled a gun and opened fire on the agents. Bockholt then also tried to pull out the gun. Agents returned fire, killing Bockholt and wounding Youngbolt. Maximilian Snyder on the left and Teresa Youngbolt on the right had applied for marriage license on January 17. He is accused of killing Curtis Lynn. 3 days later, she was arrested over the shooting in Vermont. Wow. What in the hell is going on? Holy shit. This is crazy. I don't know what this is, man. I could do a whole live stream on this.
Yeah, and there's another trans person high up in the group, you could say, named Jasper Gwen Danielson, whose whereabouts are also unknown, and the two of them faked their deaths in 2022. The neighbors had said that the militants who were living there were really bizarre, go figure, such as walking around nude or partially unclothed and wearing gas masks. And if you zoom in and look at the image that I have posted, you can see one of the militants doing that. And I believe that the person in the photo is either Emma Bohanian, which was one of the militants that was killed in the 2022 attack on Mr. Lint, or it is Suri Dow, who's another trans member who's facing charges for murder and attempted murder. So continue to follow my reporting. I am committed to the story because one important element of it is being omitted in the mainstream media. And on a different note, if you're wondering why I'm wearing this festive looking jacket, I thought I'd put on something a bit celebratory in regards to the Lunar New Year. This last week, the 29th of January was the first date of the New Year, and celebrations typically last a week, several weeks in Asian countries where it's celebrated. And I didn't get to do anything because I was so busy reporting on this. So I'm wearing this, and I wish you all a happy Lunar New Year. In Asia, in Southeast Asia, for the communities that celebrate it, my family comes from Vietnam. It's the biggest holiday of the year, and it's in many ways analogous to how Westerners celebrate Christmas. People go home to maybe if they're from the countryside, they go for a whole week to spend time with their families. There's foods associated with it, the holiday, and music and all that. This year, based on the Chinese zodiac calendar, is the year of the snake. I just think about all the snakes that I've encountered in my life in the course of my reporting, and people have disappointed me as well, have turned out to be not very trustworthy. That's so much for watching this video, and please subscribe to me on X. And if you haven't yet, please read the New York Post report.
Okay. That's Andy. I didn't even know this whole crazy, insane story was happening. And there's multiple media talking about it. News Nation: border agent slaying could be tied to death cult. The Zizans are named for Jack Amadeus Lesotho. Teresa Youngbolt faces charges in the Border Patrol agent's death. Wow, dude. That's crazy. Also, with this protest stuff, I saw somebody say it in the chat. Somebody was stabbed in Cali in one of these anti-deportation protests. It looks like it's gone chaotic out there. Where's the cops? Where's the cops at?
He has a knife. He has a knife. He has a knife. He got stabbed, guys. He got stabbed, guys. Somebody call 911. We need medics out here from the City Hall. Grand Park, we're having somebody with a stab wound.
Complete chaos out there. What happened to the cause and stuff? Wow. Maybe later if there's any protests. I don't know. Are they being streamed? Let me take a look. $29 minutes ago. They just posted a clip. Hit. Okay. Live. Maybe later. Still early out there. Well, yeah, it's still early in Cali, but that's how they're starting their day. It's Friday, so you know people get wild on Fridays. Oh, yeah. What happened to peace and love and coming together? I bumped up the point strategy. It wouldn't let me set it lower than 5, but what I did, I just bumped it up. So
wavering Japan-US alliance to achieve a free and open Indo-Pacific. President and I concurred to strengthen the deterrence and response capabilities of the alliance and to work closely in addressing strategic challenges that both countries are facing in this region. I conveyed to the President that Japan, as an ally of the United States, is ready to share responsibilities and to play its own role. I also reiterated Japan's unwavering commitment.
okay, all right. Well, I guess that's it right now. Yeah, no problem. I can even fix it even more later. I'll take a look at it again, but I just bumped it up for now. I think that was way too low. It was set at 1. That's ridiculous. I guess that's default settings. Excuse me. Nora Slash, a violent official for the CAR, the largest Islam and Muslim advocacy nonprofit group in the U.S., was caught on video this week in Manhattan shouting "F the Jews" and saying, "I demand jihad, I demand jihad. I want ISIS to kill all of you." Congresswoman Eaton and other Democrat lawmakers have close ties. Okay, so what's this? I guess somebody confronting her?
What's the purpose?
Oh, she's running.
What's the purpose of this?
She's running.
What's the purpose of this? Why are you accosting this man? I'm sorry, I don't want to get you on film.
Oh.
Is it because you're just an anti-Semite? Did I miss something? Have you wronged this woman in any way? No. Other than the fact that you're a Jew? I'm a Jew also. What are you going to do to me?
Fuck the Jew.
Fuck the Jew? Hey, wait, hold on, wait. No, don't touch my. Hey, don't touch.
I'll touch it if I want.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Oh, she hit him. Oh, she's crazy.
Who is this woman? What is she doing? I don't even know.
They put her on the list, terrorist watch.
This is insane. I'm just hoping that this person has a mental.
I demand jihad. I demand jihad. I want ISIS to kill all of you.
Okay. All right, so we call the
I am conspiring with Hamas, Palestinian jihad, and ISIS.
Okay.
I am conspiring with them.
Okay, this is going to go right to the FBI.
Perfect.
Holy
She said she's conspiring with him too. Wow. Yeah, she needed to be put on the watch list. She looked like. All right, I'll leave it at that. Wow. All right. I guess that's it for now. I'm gonna chill, but the night's early. Hello. Yeah, that woman, man, you don't know. You never know. She ready to blow some shit up. The Democrats are sending their best.
Fuck you! Why? Again? Fuck you! Fuck you twice, actually! Fuck you!
I don't consent. I don't
give a fuck, you dumb bitch! Fuck you!
You support a fucking racist pedophile. That's what the fuck you support. You're inhumane. You're inhumane. Yeah, okay.
You're a bitch! You're a bitch! You're a bitch!
That's not nice.
Dave
didn't do anything.
Who else? Okay.
Why are you so mad?
Shut the fuck up talking to me,
Why
bitch!
are you mad? I'm not mad.
Why are you mad? Why are you here?
I think it's fun.
It's fun? Yeah, we think it's fun too.
I make money off of recording you guys.
Fucking you. That's great. I just want to let you know. Fuck you, bitch. Shitty ass bitch. Shitty ass bitch. Shitty ass bitch. Stupid asshole. Hey, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Scary ass, dumb ass, stupid ass bitch.
Oh my God.
You are rallying your best out here, I have to tell you.
Wow. Holy moly. That's Caitlin Bennett. I guess she's out there at some of the protests. Oof. Well, now there's people, I mean, I don't know where she's located, but she's not in Cali. But I guess these people are getting violent today. It seems like the stabbing. Somebody was stabbed out there, and then we saw somebody else get beat down. I don't know what's going on. And it seems like cops are MIA today so far. Check Discord. Working Leominster Police and Fire Dispatch. Working fire. Cannabis factory. Oh no! Chemical and pesticides required Tier 2 hazmat. Dr. Cannabis factory. Oh! You're gonna get high if you go in there to assess the fire. Don't burn down now. Smoke up, smoke up. Uh-oh. Video raises new possibility for Eaton fire. Eaton fire.
What's
the sheep? Ah.
New information revealed today raises another possibility for the cause of the Eaton fire. Never before seen video obtained by NBC4 shows the first moments of the fire burning below a specific electrical tower in the hills above Altadena. Our investigative reporter Eric Leonard joins us live right now with a story you will see for the first time and only right here on 4. Eric.
Well, this new video clip we're going to show you, it's very short, shows flames below the electrical towers where it's believed the Eaton fire started. It is similar to several other clips we've shared in recent weeks that have focused the investigation into the cause on those high voltage power lines that cross the foothills. What's new here is the perspective. This video shows the first flames were at the base of only one of the towers, which was supposed to be disconnected from power. Now, Southern California Edison has suggested it could very well be part of the explanation for how the Eaton fire ignited. A few seconds of video captured by a resident close to where the Eaton fire started on January 7th recorded flames below one of 3 electrical towers on a hillside. The metadata on the video clip shows it was recorded at 6:14 p.m. from the back of a home nearby. The person who recorded it does not want to be identified.
Yeah, because what? Did you report it?
What's significant is that the video clip shows the first flames were burning under the tower shown on the right. That's an old, decommissioned Southern California Edison tower, meaning its lines never carry live electricity. The path of that dead line, called the Mesa-Sylmar Circuit, is shown in green on this map, and the line ends right at the spot the Eaton fire started. In a new document filed by Southern California Edison with state regulators today, it says it's exploring the possibility that somehow that deadline was momentarily energized in the high winds on the night of the fire. Right.
So you should have to pay for the damage.
SCE is evaluating a number of potential causes, including whether the idle Mesa-Sylmar transmission line could have become energized, and the extent to which that line or its grounding could be related to the cause of the fire.
One would not expect an unenergized line to come to life.
Electrical engineer Ken Buskey, who's investigated more than 1,000 fires, says it's possible for dead lines to become electrified through a phenomenon called induction, which can happen when energized lines nearby get close to the deadline, like in high wind conditions.
The induced currents and voltages in the dead line can cause arcing through a bad connection. And so you can have arcing that causes a fire if the grounding isn't proper, even though the line's dead.
He says it's unlikely the induction alone would cause a spark, but if the connection to that third tower wasn't grounded properly, heat and sparks would be possible.
Because it is the end of the line, and that's where it's grounded. That's where the arcing and sparking takes place, because there's a contact between the grounding and the tower.
Southern California Edison has said in court and in public that it has not found direct evidence that its live lines sparked the Eaton fire. But about 2 weeks ago, after some gas station security video emerged that showed sparks falling from the area of those towers, Edison said it was continuing to investigate the possibility some of its equipment played a role. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
What? Oh, man. All right. I think that's it. There was one other clip, but I got to go. Is this in multiple parts? Oh, this is in multiple parts. Damn it. Okay, let's do this. Let's watch this real quick.
You just stay in there.
I fall asleep and then he shook me up
to
wake me up and tell me that I needed to take an Uber home. Like I lived down the street and we knew each other, but I'm not sure what's happened now. My name is Maggie.
What happened?
I don't want to. I'll sit it.
Maggie's just trying to avoid the walk of shame.
No, I just need them to come here because people are already on their way. Please, just have them come here, please. Okay, alright, okay. I won't hang up.
Maggie, what happened to you?
$8 on John, that's what he's saying, but I don't know. Apartment 1425, let me check. I'll ask if anyone. Hello, can anyone help me?
Oh my god. Oh, this chick. Oh, hold on, it's part 2. I don't really understand what's going on, but... Oh,
what are you doing?
Stop recording me! He's trying to record me.
What are you doing? Stop it.
Stop not hitting you! Get the phone out of my face!
Hey, what are you doing?
This person is continuing to assault me. Help me! I don't know the address because he just brought me here on a date.
What the hell?
Me.
You came over here on your own will.
I did not!
What are you doing?
Stop it!
Hey, stop.
This is what a narcissist does. Help me, please. Please, I've only lived here for 2 weeks. I don't know this person.
What are you doing?
Stop it! Why are you recording me?
Because you're crazy.
I'm like naked in your apartment after you just woke up and I don't know what happened.
No, I asked you to leave politely and you didn't.
I don't know. He's like putting the phone on me and he has like unlocking the door. Unlocking the door. I have and he's scaring me. Unlocking the
Bruh. Wow. There's no part 3. All right, I'm gonna head out now, guys. I hope you guys have a happy Friday. I'll probably, whatever happens, I'll be back. If there's something that pops off, stand off, whatever, I'll be back. But